Education Zone. My name is Anthony Nathaniel, and today we'll be talking about civic education and values. Now, civic education in our civic education class, we'll talk about what civic education is and what values are. Civic education is a very important and compulsory subject in our WAEC examinations. And it's important not just because of the fact that it portrays our national values, but it also helps us to inculcate the values of the society. Now, what is civic education? Civic education is basically a subject that aims to create awareness, to teach the right values, to teach the right attitudes and the right behavior that are required and necessary for our national progress. Now, civic education, there are many importance of civic education. Now, the first importance of civic education is that civic education helps us to display and develop the right value system. And what is the value? We'll talk about value later, but civic education helps us display and develop right value system. In addition, civic education helps us, the students. You watching, you are a student, right? And even if you are not a student, you are citizen of Nigeria. So civic education, the story of civic education helps you to understand your rights and your responsibilities in society. And now, the third importance of civic education is that civic education makes you aware of happenings in the country. Civic education tells you about how the government operates. It tells you about features of the government and how it operates. Next, another importance of civic education is that it helps you to develop and cultivate the idea of and virtue of good citizenship, because civic education helps you, teaches you about what you're supposed to do in your country, your obligations, your duties, your rights, and every other thing you need to know. Then the last importance of civic education is that it helps you to know of how the government works and how the government functions. So that is another importance of civic education. Next, we're talking about values. Now, what are values? Values are basically the characteristics, your beliefs, and your ideas that you consider very important to you. You consider them dearly to you, and they are also very important in the formation of your principles. Now, values are basically your characteristics, beliefs, and ideas. And they are considered important, and they are important, and they are necessary for our national existence. Now, we have values in Nigeria, we have values in our religions, we have values in our culture, but values can be characterized into different parts. Now, we have positive values. Positive values are values that are positive, they are good, and they are observed to have positive results on society. Positive values like honesty, truthfulness, positive values like loyalty, nationalism, and other values, which are the characters that are good in a citizen. Then we have negative values. Negative values are type of values that are bad and they are not desired in society, like lying, like falsehood, corruption, which is a thorn in Nigeria's flesh today, and every other negative value. We also have absolute values. We have personal values of an individual. We have sociocultural values, which are prevailing values of a society. We have family values, which are values determined by the parents of his family. And then we have moral values. Moral values are a wider part of values that are also a subset of positive values. So now, what are the importance of values? Values, number one, values helps us to know the behavior and characteristics that are important and that are right in society. Now, when a society has its own values, it helps us to know that what are the things that are good to do in society. So values help us to know what is good to do in society. And second importance of values is that values can be passed from generation to generation. So values, when you have a values of the 20th century, it will be passed to the 21st century, to the 22nd century, and those values, they are often the good values. So values can be passed from generation to generation, and it's a characteristic of values. Now, also know that values help us to be aware of our social status. So values, we know that what we do is good or whether it's bad, because values helps us to know that the social status of our action will have negative or positive implications in the future. Now, next, another important of values is that values help us to promote positive relationship between our communities. Now, we have our communities of Yoruba, we have communities of the Igbos, we have communities of the Hausa in Nigeria, but their values, the national values of Nigeria, unite us like a strong wax and brings us together so that we can communicate together, we can live in unity and harmony, and we can share ideas and resources. Now, next, values helps us to promote development in our society, and it is obvious in that developed countries of the world have strong value systems that are very, very stick. They are stuck to, and they are obeyed. They are values that are very important to their citizens. Then we also have the fact that values help us to realize whether what we do in society is good or bad. So values helps us to have a sense of ethics in our society. So those are the importance of values. So to recap, civic education is a subject that helps us to create awareness of our society. Civic education helps us to know the happenings in government, civic education is important for promoting our values. Thank you.